the silent marksman. The sun dipped low the quiet fields of Ravenwood Valley, painting the sky in deep shades of crimson. Rows of wheat swayed gently in the evening breeze, hiding within a house that looked simple, even forgotten. To anyone passing by, it was just another lonely farmhouse on the edge of nowhere. But those who truly knew the land understood that the woman living inside was not just any farmer. Illyra Quinn had once worn the uniform of her nation. She had stood in deserts, jungles, and cities torn apart by war. And in the chaos of those places, she had earned a reputation whispered with awe and fear alike, the Ghost-Eye Sniper. Years ago, she had walked away from the military world, haunted by the faces of those she couldn't save and the weight of too many kills on her conscience. She sought peace here, in Ravenwood, among her chickens, her crops, and the silence of nature. For a while, it seemed she had found it, until the night the gang came, the raid. They called themselves the Iron Vultures, a ruthless group of marauders who prowled the countryside, armed with rifles, machetes, and cruelty in their eyes. They had been raiding small farms for weeks, leaving behind only ashes and blood. Ravenwood Valley was next on their list. And Illyra Quinn's farm, remote, quiet, seemingly undefended, looked like the perfect target. Their leader, Brent Holloway, was a man whose reputation reeked of violence. He believed fear was power, and power was the only law worth obeying. One more farm. He sneered his crew of 12 as their trucks rolled down the dirt road under the cover of night. One more farm, one more haul. Take what you want, burn the rest. The men laughed, their voices carrying through the night air. They didn't know that every sound, every movement, was already being tracked. From her darkened attic, Illyra watched through a high-powered scope. She had seen the headlights long before the trucks reached her gate. Her fingers brushed over the rifle laid out before her, a weapon she swore never to pick up again. But tonight, there was no choice. She whispered to herself, Asterisk, if you come for me, you'd better come ready to meet the ghost. Asterisk, the first shot, the vultures poured out of their trucks like a wave of predators. Brent barked orders while 2 of his men carried cans of gasoline, already eager to set fire to the fields. One of them laughed, raising a torch. Then, asterisk cracked, asterisk. The sound echoed like thunder. The torchbearer dropped instantly, his body collapsing into the dirt before the flame could touch the wheat. Silence fell over the group, confusion breaking their arrogance for the first time. Sniper, one of them screamed, diving for cover. But there was no cover in the open fields. Only moonlight, open dirt, and the unseen eyes of a woman who had spent her life hunting shadows across battlefields far deadlier than this. Another shot. Another man fell. Panic spread like wildfire. Brent Holloway snarled, his teeth bared like a cornered wolf. Find her. She's one person. One. But Brent was wrong. She wasn't just one person. She was the Ghost-Eye Sniper, and this was her ground. The hunt. Illyra moved like a phantom through her farmhouse, setting traps, locking windows, turning off every light. She knew these men weren't disciplined soldiers. They were scavengers, and scavengers always got sloppy when cornered. Through the scope, she spotted one of them crawling toward the barn. She waited, patient as stone, until he thought he was safe. Then a clean shot rang out, and his crawl ended in silence. Inside the trucks, the remaining men argued, their nerves fraying. One wanted to flee. Another demanded they torch the farm no matter the cost. Brent silenced him with a glare, though even his confidence wavered now. Spread out, he ordered. Flush her out. She's not invincible. But Illyra knew their plan before they executed it. She had seen it 100 times in war zones. She countered each move with surgical precision. A tripwire by the chicken coop. A pitfall covered with loose boards near the tool shed. By the time the vultures realized they were walking into a battlefield designed by a professional, it was too late. One by one they fell, some from bullets, others from their own recklessness. And all the while, Illyra moved with calm, controlled breathing, her mind sharp, her heart steady. This wasn't revenge. It was survival. Brent's fury. By midnight, only 4 men remained with Brent. The once cocky gang now trembled in fear, hiding behind their trucks, whispering like frightened children. She's a demon, One muttered, "We should never have come here." Brent's rage boiled over. He grabbed the man by the collar, snarling, "You afraid of one farmer?" He shoved him aside and raised his rifle toward the farmhouse. "Fine. If she want a war, we'll give her one." They unloaded bullet after bullet into the house, shattering windows, splintering wood, filling the night with chaos. But when the smoke cleared, the house stood. And so did she. From the shadows of the upstairs window, Ilara whispered into the darkness, "Asterisk, you don't understand. This is my first war." Asterisk, her shot took down the man closest to Brent. Blood sprayed across the truck's hood. The leader ducked, fury giving way to something he hadn't felt in years. Fear. Face to face. Finally, it came down to Brent and Ilara. His men were gone, scattered in the fields, lifeless in the dirt. The valley was quiet again, save for the wind. Breathing hard, Brent stormed toward the farmhouse, his boots crunching on gravel. He kicked the front door open, rifle raised, screaming into the shadows. "Come out, coward. Face me." Ilara didn't answer, not with words. From behind him came the softest click, the unmistakable sound of a gun being cocked. He froze. Slowly he turned, and there she stood in the kitchen doorway, calm, her rifle lowered but ready. Her voice was quiet, steady. "You made one mistake, Brent. You thought you were hunting me. But from the moment you stepped onto this farm, you were prey." For the first time, Brent's bravado cracked. His rifle shook in his hands. He tried to raise it, but Ilara was faster. The shot echoed across Ravenwood Valley, carrying with it the end of the iron vultures. Aftermath. Dawn broke over the valley, painting the fields in gold. Smoke rose from the wreck of the trucks, and silence lay heavy where violence had reigned just hours before. Ilara stood on her porch, her rifle dismantled beside her. She had defended her home, her land, her peace. But inside, she knew something had shifted. The ghost-eyed sniper she had buried had returned. For one night, at least, she gazed out the horizon, her eyes tired yet unbroken. "Maybe now," she whispered, "they'll leave this valley alone." But deep down, she knew the world never truly left you alone. And if the shadows came back, so would she. Because Ilara Quinn was more than a farmer. She was a silent marksman. And Ravenwood Valley would never fall while she stood guard.